My name is Linda Burhenne. I am a lifelong Lake County resident. I grew up in Mentor. I went to high school in Paynesville. I married a Willoughby guy, so we lived in Willoughby for 14 years, and now we've been in Leroy for 25 years. So I have a real good familiarity with the broad range of what we have in Lake County. Jack and I have been married for 38 years. We raised 6 children, 3 boys and 3 girls. And at a certain point in their upbringing, we decided that their exposure to ideas in the public schools that we didn't agree with was not going to stop. And because we had made the choice that I would be a stay-at-home mother, we didn't have the option of putting them into a parochial school situation, so we chose to homeschool them. And we homeschooled our children for 15 years. And those of you who know me know that that was educationally successful for them. 3 of my children went on to be high school valedictorians. 1 was a congressional page. 5 of them have bachelor's degrees. 2 of them have master's degrees. They've done well. It hasn't stunted them at all, I don't think. At some point in that, I became acquainted with a state initiative to fundamentally change education. You may remember about 20 years ago the concern there was in our community about the outcomes-based education initiative that was coming probably originally from the federal level and then through the state. My friend Judy Keller and I worked really hard to educate the community about that. Ultimately, we both decided to run for our local school boards, and ultimately we were both elected and both served 2 terms in our local school boards. Interestingly, at the time that I was on the school board, Paynesville Township was going through a time of real difficulty. Some of you who live in that community may remember the superintendent buyout that cost the taxpayers needlessly about $500,000. So when I was elected, I was one of 4 new board members on a 5-member board. And the first thing they tell you when you become a school member is that your only job is to make policy and to hire and evaluate the superintendent. And I asked them, why do I have to vote on everything else? So those of you who know me will know that I spent my tenure on the board making sure I drilled down to all the details. My specialty was curriculum and the budget, and I went through the budget every year with the treasurer line by line, and every year invariably we found some money we could save. After 8 years on the board, I ran for trustee in Leroy Township, and I've been a Leroy Township trustee for 10 years. 6 years ago, the Geauga County Commissioners created a position for me in their office called Special Projects Coordinator. I worked for the Geauga County Commissioners in their office for 3 years, and I got to do just an awesome array of really interesting things. I learned about the request for proposal process and the bid process, and I've negotiated contracts, and I have put together contract packets. I have been their monitor on 2 large capital improvement projects. Wrote the business plan for the Geauga County Airport. Ran the mailroom, as an aside, which gave me the supervisory experience that I think caused them to appoint me to be a department head. And for the last 3 years for Geauga County, I have been running the Archives and Records Center. Geauga County has centralized records management, something I'm going to be taking a look at when I'm elected county commissioner, because I know we don't have that here in Lake County. And frankly, records management's a big deal, and it's not getting the attention that it really deserves here in the county. One of the other things that I did was I wanted to increase my formal education in public administration and couldn't find any kind of a program nearby that I could participate in. And so I signed up with the International City and County Managers Association in a 2-year Emerging Leaders Program. And after 2 years, in October of 2010, I attained a government management certification from them. I have to say, I think of all the people that you're looking at today, I probably know the most about county government because I've been doing it for the last 6 years. I attended the sales tax hearing the other day, and this is what they gave us. And if you look at the document that they gave you, what you'll see is that it totally focuses on revenue. Well, yeah, their revenue has gone down. But there's not one word in here about expenditures, which is the other half of the equation. All too often, people in government want to look at the revenues, and they don't want to look at how they're spending money. Well, I'm telling you, as a mother who raised 6 children on a single income, you got to look at the expenditure side. And that's what we'll be looking at if I have the opportunity to serve you as your next commissioner here in Lake County. Thank you.